Isaac, do you want to take a picture? Although I don't know that we have any guests.
When I do that, my computer goes a little crazy.
Yeah, I told you I would take a picture, but maybe you don't need to.
Yeah.
Imran is a guest.
Is
Is he our only one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We only have one. Okay.
Let's get this
We have to
meeting
have
started.
at least 3, so you don't need a picture.
So glad to have you, Imran.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter what time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide. I am the Sergeant at Arms, Isaac Ford, and we have, I think, 1 or 2 guests. If you could put a G in front of your name, if you don't already have it. Club mission. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. Please welcome our president, Tala bin Hamid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sergeant at Arms. Welcome to this 107th meeting of Leaders Worldwide. And today, it is my immense pride to welcome all of you. Welcome our District Director, Caroline Douglas. Welcome our honored guests. And, I'm simply overwhelmed because I keep looking at the dashboard and, our club is doing so exceptionally well, not only compared to other clubs in the district, but also other clubs worldwide. So it's an amazing achievement. What continues to impress me is the hard work and dedication that everyone keeps putting into every aspect of this club and the sheer quality of every segment. So today, it's that time of the season where we should be grateful for each other. We should be grateful to have each other. We should be grateful to have this platform. And without further ado, I will now move on to our guests. I can see 2. So Toastmaster Imran Rana, please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Talha. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, myself, Toastmaster Imran Rana, and I'm the Area Director of District 122, plus I'm the member of Karachi Toastmasters Club as well. So that's all about it.
Thank you so much. He's also he's Area Director of Area 1, a charter member of Quantum Leap, and of course, one of the members of Karachi Toastmasters. And as you can very well hear, father of 3 feisty children. So we have another guest with us, someone I know quite well, Toastmaster Umar Farooq, all the way from Saudi, if I'm correct. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, you are correct. I am from Saudi Arabia, actually from Punjab, Pakistan, living in Saudi Arabia for past over 9 years now. And I am immediate past Area 31 Director, DVNF, District 79. And I have been a Toastmaster for over 3 years, and it has been a quite enriching experience. And I'm looking forward to this great meeting. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. And as you can see, even our guests are putting the leaders in Leaders Worldwide and also the worldwide in Leaders Worldwide. So I believe those are the guests.
And he froze.
He lost his power.
Shall we move on?
Well, it's hard to move on from our wonderful Talha, but perhaps we should. Past President Cynthia, would you care to pick up the slack?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we welcome our guests and we welcome our members, and we are definitely leaders worldwide from around the world. Great. And now I would like to introduce our illustrious Toastmaster of the day, Linda Patton.
Thank you so
Oh,
very.
And one thing that Talha was going to announce is that
He's here, by the way.
Oh, he is. Oh, good.
He's back.
So apologies for the power outage. Thankfully, I'm back. So today our Toastmaster of the day is, as in the words of DTM Cynthia, illustrious because she has multiple district leadership positions. And that makes her either stir crazy or an extraordinary person. I lean towards the latter though, because I know her very well. And you know, Toastmaster of the day is just like if our VP education is akin to royalty, for example, King Charles, Toastmaster of the day is akin to the Prime Minister in the UK. So every time in every meeting, there's a new Prime Minister, whereas the King or previously the Queen sees through one Prime Minister, then another, then another, then another. But so they are supposed to arrange the meeting and also assist in coordinating with the roles. So everyone, please put your hands together for distinguished Toastmaster Linda Patton.
Thank you, Tala, so very, very, very much. And I welcome you all on this Monday after Thanksgiving. Hopefully you had a phenomenal weekend and we're with family and we had a chance to converse with people that you don't perhaps see on a regular basis. My daughter was in here from Las Vegas, so it was a really special Thanksgiving. I chose a very interesting theme for today, and the theme is In Our Voices. November is the Native American Heritage Month. Each year in November, we honor the Native people of this land who carved out lives for their families through their accomplishments and historical legacy. This year, Native American Heritage Month's theme is In Our Voices, because on listening to Native American people to learn about their perspectives and experiences, let's look at all of our voices, no matter the country or the culture excuse me, we are part of. What are we saying? And are we hearing these messages? And on that note, I'd like to introduce our general evaluator, Ms. Cynthia Stott, who you've heard a bit about. And the one thing I did want to say, and now I can't find it, is to say that she also does some special services before the meeting. She connects with the speakers and with the evaluators and makes certain that the evaluators have all that they need, including their evaluation form, to do the best job possible in creating this wonderful cohort that we have become. So with that, DTM Cynthia Stott, tell us about the general evaluator role.
I love your word cohort. It's beautiful. Yes, I'm piloting a new general evaluator role, which has a role before the meeting as well as during the meeting. And that is to connect the speakers and the evaluators and make sure that the evaluators have the project information and the evaluation form. And Kathleen Pill, as well as Maureen Xavier, piloted it before me, but we're getting even more formal with it using this going forward. So we check in with them and give them their information. We also check that they are on the call and ready to go. And also a part of my team are two special people. Oh, but I wanted to tell you, we're also piloting something else. And this is for our TEDx event. Last week, we had a breakout room with a pod, P-O-D, pod of 6 people. 3 of them were speakers and also evaluated each other. And 3 more were the Toastmaster of the day for that breakout room, the timer, and the table topics master. And that was piloted. We're going to do the other half of the pilot where they switch roles. If they were a speaker, they now become a role taker. And that will be on January 2nd in the evening. And we're going to see how all that goes. It's going quite well, but we want to implement that after our January 16 international speech contest. So we're kind of raring to go for that. And since it's going well in the breakout room, we thought we would do this similar thing in the wait a second. Is somebody, Carolyn, what did you want to tell me? I can't read while I'm, Carolyn?
I sent you a little message to say that this is being quite innovative and this is good. Just a compliment, Cynthia.
Oh, great. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It just distracted me because I was speaking. Okay.
Don't read.
So
don't read that.
I can't read messages privately when I'm speaking. Thank you. Because I'm on my phone. It makes it very, very difficult. Okay, that's great. And so we are piloting that not only in the breakout room, but also in the main room here. And today we're just going to do it with Tala. We'll be speaking as well as evaluating. And we're going to try to do that with all our intermediate and advanced speakers so that they will be practiced at speaking and evaluating at the same time. So we can continue with this rigorous training for TEDx. And we're going to start that right after the January 16 contest. So very exciting that we're going to have Tala piloting that this morning with evaluating Carolyn after the break. So it's going to be a real challenge. So thank you, Carolyn, for recognizing that. It's very innovative. We're trying new stuff, different stuff. We're going to be one of the first Toastmasters to ever have a TEDx event. So that makes us have to be innovative in many, many ways. So I'd like to introduce my team today. First of all, we have Sally Reyes is our grammarian. And could you please tell everyone your role?
Thank you so much, Cynthia. With this wonderful indigenous word, I chose the word design, a well-organized plan resulting in a flawless execution. And this applies to what's happening right now, so I thought it was delicious. And my other job is to evaluate all the speakers and the use of their language, and to make special attention to wonderful word usage and also the flaws of oh, but, and that are not necessary. And the point to noticing these is so we become mentally aware of what we're doing and learning to flip that over and get rid of those unnecessary words. And it's a delight to see you all today, looking so happy from our holiday. Thank you.
Awesome. And that's a delicious word, design, when we have to design innovatively, design our agenda so that we can practice for TEDx. Great. So we can have excellent execution.
Excellent, a flawless execution.
Flawless execution. Yes, that's what we hope to have for TEDx. Great. And now we have our, what was that?
It will be developed while we practice and bring attention to that.
Absolutely. And now I'd like to introduce our timer of the day. That's Teresa Cherry, and she just stepped in. Thank you for your flexibility and your flawless design.
Well,
Please
my role is
Teresa Cherry.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cynthia. And my role today is particularly important, particularly since we are moving into the TEDx and speech contest. And also we have many aspiring public speakers, people who are guests on podcasts and all the rest. And one of the most important things when making a presentation, particularly if you are on a public stage, is to be aware of the time constraints that you have been given. So many of us will have a prepared, a carefully designed speech that will not only bring our message to the audience, but be able to share that message in a 1, 5, 10, and as we become more advanced, 15, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hours, or whatever it might be. And for the most part, we are simply reiterating the same basic message in very many ways, adding stories or illustrations or like-kind designed elements. So today, most of our speeches will be 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be sharing a background, a green background, once the speaker has reached the minimum amount of time, yellow at the midway point, and then red, and the speaker should be ending their presentation, because at this point, the speaker has 30 seconds to finish, or I get out the hook, and even virtually, it can be done. So watch out for the red, everybody. It'll be a pleasure to serve. Thank you so much.
I love that, Teresa. Get out the hook.
And you
that will
know I'm
be
capable.
Especially important as we're practicing for our contest speech, because we literally can't. What was that? What, Teresa?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you
I
say
didn't say
something?
anything.
No? Okay. For our contest speech, it's illegal according to Toastmasters International. Oh, maybe there's a delay when I'm speaking. And so we have to be practice at watching that timer so that we end on time. Because I've seen speakers who give us, I got distracted again by the text. For our international speech, we have to end at the red. Otherwise, we could be there all night with more than 10 speakers. We could be there all night if everyone goes on to 9 minutes, 10 minutes. So thank you, Teresa, for the reminder. And I will come back at the end of the meeting and call for our evaluators reports and our timers reports and our grammarian reports. And then I will give a report on the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Excellent. And I do believe that there are actually 2 evaluators who will be doing their evaluations before the break, because our speakers are leaving us. So let me introduce our first evaluator, which is Sandra Edwards, and she will be evaluating Atifa Deshamukia. Sandra? You're muted, Sandra.
Do we have Atifa here with us?
We did.
I don't see her.
Shall we hop right along to Maya's and we'll try to retrieve
That would be
Atifa?
fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, let's introduce Isaac Ford.
Great. Thank you for that, Madam Toastmaster. Toastmaster Maya Catherine will be speaking from Presentation Mastery, Level 2, Project 3. The time for the speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. She is to present a speech about a time when being a protege, share the impact and importance of having a mentor. She is to avoid reporting on the content of the project. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much. Let me introduce Maya Catherine. She always knew her calling was to help others develop and maintain a strong emotional core. She was able to accumulate extensive knowledge on emotional strength based on lessons she learned from her own hardships, as well as specialized training and research on emotional trauma and emotional health. Today, she is a published author and international speaker, specializing in emotional resilience and thriving after hardship. Her speech title today is How Toastmasters Mentoring Gave Me International Exposure. Maya Catherine, Toastmasters Mentoring gave me international exposure. Toastmasters Mentoring gave me international exposure. Maya Catherine.
Thank you. Some say no one can make it far in life without a good mentor. From Oprah Winfrey having Maya Angelou as a mentor, to Mark Zuckerberg having Steve Jobs guiding him, to even Socrates mentoring Plato, and Plato mentoring Aristotle. The benefits of a mentor-mentee relationships have been praised all over the world for generations. Although I may be one of those few people that did not have that luck of having an overall mentor in life, I did have the opportunity to experience mentorship firsthand when I joined Toastmasters. That mentorship ended up adding values to my endeavors and even to myself, and helped me add international keynote speaker to my speaking resume. That is amazing. Indeed, in the past 3 months or so that I've been a member of Toastmasters, I have seen the tremendous values of mentorship at various times. For example, when I was unsure of what topic to speak on, my mentor used her wisdom and experience to help me pick a subject matter that was near and dear to my heart, and thus that flowed easily through me. When I was navigating through pathways and trying to map out a strategy to strengthen my message, my mentor helped me decide to focus on one specific speech that I would adapt to various pathway projects and therefore master it. And as I talked to my mentor about my aspirations and visions of becoming an acclaimed international speaker, my mentor suggested a keynote speaking opportunity in the Quantum Leap Toastmaster Club in Pakistan, which I had the honor and privilege of giving even at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. I was so grateful for everyone that helped put that together. It's one thing to have given speeches in another country in front of an international audience as a teen in Catholic school, which I did. But it is another to give a keynote address to distinguished and professional Toastmaster members overseas. It was an experience I will value forever. My mentorship in Toastmasters makes me feel supported and heard. My mentor provides constructive feedback, and she even shares lessons from her own life where she learned by trial and error, so that I focus more on the lessons and what I can improve instead of focusing on what I did wrong. As a mentee, I know it is important to be open to learning, open to constructing criticism, and open to growth. And it is good to use the guidance that you are offered in order to become better. And that's exactly what I am doing. I am grateful that in addition to my official mentor, I felt unofficially mentored by many at Toastmasters, including our club, whether it was on how to properly use Easy Speak and schedule my speeches, or from the feedback I've gotten from the various evaluations on my speeches in this club and other clubs over the past 3 months. Thank you so much for that. I wholeheartedly recommend mentorship to anyone considering it, whether you choose to be a mentor or a mentee. It can be beneficial all around if anyone has an open heart and open mind. We never stop learning as long as we are open to receive valuable information and to continue improving ourselves. After all, as per the quote from St. Francis, sometimes it's in giving that we receive. Madam Toastmaster of the day, back to you.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you so very, very much. That was a beautiful speech about mentors. They are such an invaluable part of our lives in Toastmasters, and we really appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to ask the question. I don't see Atifa, so are we going on to Tala? Yes, okay. So let me introduce Tala's evaluator, who is Marlon Pareo.
First, shall we have a minute on the clock?
Silence? No,
Yeah.
why would we want to do that? Okay, timer, if you'd give us a minute on the timer, please.
Has that been 1 minute?
That's a minute.
Okay.
Why is it that 1 minute always seems longer than a 7-minute speech.
Because the timer forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
No problem.
We're
So
still on
I
track.
forgot to tell you to do it, and yeah, it all works out. It all works out in the end, right?
Yes.
All right. So Marlon Rayo is Tala's evaluator. And Marlon, will you announce the speech path project, purpose, and timing for us?
Of course, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting. I have the privilege, nay the honor of evaluating Toastmaster Tala bin Hamid. His path is innovative planning. The level is 2. The project is 2. And the project's name is Connect with Your Audience. And as the name suggests, the purpose is to connect with his audience, but not just that. Tala has to select a topic that nobody knows about, including me, and attempt to give that information, convey that in a way that connects with his audience through audience engagement. That is the project purpose, and I hand control of the virtual lectern back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the meeting.
Thank you so very much, evaluator number 2. Tala, how to introduce you? Here's a man who needs no introduction, and yet he is a Toastmaster extraordinaire. He is our club president. He has been in district leadership and is the immediate past district director for his district 127 in Pakistan. I believe that he has a puzzle for us today. Tala bin Hamid, catwalk, catwalk, Tala bin Hamid.
Tall, slender, clearly Eastern, was dressed in an elegant fusion of Oriental and Occidental attire. With measured steps, she comes through the gleaming door and onto the stretch that is lined on both sides by adoring and restless multitudes, all craning their necks to catch but one glimpse of her. Here she comes, her lips slightly curled, the boisterous crowd, many of whom shabbily dressed, gawking at her, shouting, stench of sweaty bodies. Nearby toilets that are a beatnik's nightmare. It is overwhelming. This is why her appearances on this particular stage are few and far between. She's scared, she's angry, she's disgusted. She wants none of this. And yet, the faithful promise is what has brought her here. Here she comes, her heels somehow piercing the murmur of the stumbled peasants, her haughty glance seeing everyone and not seeing anyone, her eyes shielded against the merciless South Asian sunshine. Beads of sweat, a rude awakening after her travels in cool European climes and chilled interiors of her first-class flight. She takes off her sunglasses, wipes them delicately, and puts them back on. At the end of the ramp, she doesn't turn back into a swirl of fabric and elegance and poise. Instead, she pauses and looks around. But suddenly, she's forgotten. The crowd is now tracking another entrant from the gleaming gates. It is a group, a dusty, bearded, clearly needing a shower, a woman in tow, all dressed in hijab, head to toe. 2 girls spring along. Wearily, they make their way down the passage when 2 men and a woman suddenly break ranks from the crowd, run towards them, and embrace them. Tears on both sides. The greeters have garnished the travelers with fragrant garlands of rose and jasmine petals. There is laughter and a deafening roar of Mubarak, Mubarak, Mubarak. Here he comes. There is another one. Middle-aged fellow, portly, balding, clean-shaving, wrists buried in gold watches and bracelets and fingers awash in garish rings. He's speaking in a bastardized mixture of Punjabi and English, failing miserably at both. He's looking around, anxious to see if someone is watching him. He has one phone in one ear and looking at the other phone on the other hand. Luckily, some are looking at him. Unluckily, they're also laughing at him. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, this is Talha bin Hamid reporting live from Jinnah International Airport, Karachi. We bring this live coverage as 3 flights, one from London, one from Jeddah, and one from Dubai, arrive simultaneously, and their passengers from 3 different worlds are unleashed together upon the city. And as we watch, the lady we saw first has been born and raised in London. 3 decades ago, her father left his newlywed pregnant bride to make a future for himself and opened a Desi-style restaurant there. With fame and fortune came proposals, and he married again, this time to the daughter of a wealthy businessman. Now he has passed away after siring another daughter, buried in his suit. But as a responsible husband and father, he's left a hefty check for his forgotten wife and daughter, and this is what this fashionista has come to deliver. The family afterward has just returned from Hajj. They're tired, but they're elated. They're miserable and dirty, but they just had the journey of their lifetime, which they will cherish for the rest of their lives. They did not want to leave Mecca, but they could not wait to leave Mecca because now they are home. The third gentleman has just recently gotten lucky in real estate and shifted to Dubai. He is loud, brash, and pretentious, and is likely to remain so for the rest of his life. And he's likely to wear Hawaiian shirts, which will never, ever fit him or suit him for the rest of his life. He has returned to Pakistan for the first time after his success and expects everyone to bow to his greatness. Fellow Toastmasters, most of you take air travel for granted. Away from romantic comedies where 2 lovers unite just as one's flight is departing, there is nothing even remotely interesting about it. But in the third world, in a country like Pakistan, it is nothing short of a life event. Airports are wheels of fate where life stories are written, where lives are changed, where marriages are formed and broken. Even today, anyone traveling by air can expect to be seen off and received by at least a party of 10. Most people haven't seen the inside of an airplane, and by loitering around the airport, they're secretly hoping to be a part of the magic carpet and maybe ride on it someday, even for a few moments. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there are smells. There's a lot of filth. The noise, the heat, the smog, the merciless sun. But beneath all that, there is something that North American airports will never have. Drama. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tala. If we could have a minute on the timer, please.
That's a minute.
Thank you, thank you, Mistress Timer. Okay. At this point, I'm going to turn it back over to the general evaluator, Miss Cynthia Stott, to introduce the two evaluations for this first half of the meeting. Cynthia?
Great, awesome. So the evaluator for my Kaplan is
Isaac Ford?
Let's see who I have to pick it up.
Isaac
Ford. Okay. Isaac, can you please give us the evaluation for Maya? Thank you.
Thank you for that, Madam GE. And thank you for that wonderful speech, Maya. I liked how you just jumped right into the subject matter by naming various mentor-mentee situations. I think you named Steve Jobs and various mentor-mentee relationships. You did a good job with that. I liked the fact also that you had a great smile. You at least let us know that you enjoyed what you're talking about. So that's always a plus whenever you're whenever you're giving a speech. And I thought that your personal stories were excellent. You talked about your mentors, how they had you working on a keynote and different things, and also how you learned how to work with Easy Speak and different things. So you were telling excellent, a good story about what mentors have done with you. Now, one suggestion that I would give you is I'm listening to who the qualities of your mentor, but name that mentor. I want to know who you're talking about. Now, I assume it was Cynthia, but I don't know that. But that would be helpful to do that. And now the other thing that I would suggest, and I don't know, it's kind of hard when you wear glasses, but I could see the ring lights in your glasses as you were speaking. And I don't know what you would do about that. Like now, when you hold your head down, I don't see it. So that would be another suggestion that I would give you. I liked how you closed the meeting with your call to action. You said everyone should have a mentor, which is exactly true. And overall, I thought you gave an excellent presentation. And I can see that you are just getting more comfortable with speaking, which really makes you a better speaker. So all I would suggest is keep on talking. Back to you.
Excellent evaluation, Isaac. Awesome. You gave some great stretch goals and you really recognized her strengths. That's beautiful. You're an excellent evaluator, and that's what we're growing in Leaders Worldwide, is our excellent evaluators as well as speakers.
Thanks.
Up
And
next is Marlon Perejo.
Cynthia?
Yes?
Before you introduce Marlon,
yes,
would you mind asking the timer to tell us what the timing is on speech evaluations?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes. Can you please give us the timing cues, Teresa?
Evaluators should do 2 to 3 minutes. So at 2 minutes, green, 2.5 minutes, yellow, 3 minutes, red. Thank you.
Okay, great, Teresa. This is a little bit different format for us, so we're just making our tries. Awesome. So our next evaluator is Marlon Perejo, and he's evaluating Tala bin Hamid's amazing speech. Welcome, Marlon.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Talha, the purpose of your speech was to connect with your audience, and connect you did. You, Mr. Bin Hamid, are an exceptional storyteller. From the beginning, I was listening and leaning on every word because I can't see, but I can see through people's words, and your descriptions were designed for me to have an image in my mind of what is going on. However, I thought at the beginning that it was in fact a real catwalk. I imagined the lady walking down the catwalk with the shades and everything. I was like, okay, is he talking about a modeling show? I don't know anything about that. But then it took a turn. You pulled me this way and you pulled me the next way. And I enjoyed it immensely. When you spoke about the different parts of the different persons in the airport, I was like, wow, yes, that's wonderful. Your speech was awesome. Hear how we are going to make it unforgettable. Are you ready, Mr. Bin Hamid? And that is how you make it unforgettable. In order to connect with your audience, in order to engage with your audience, ask some questions. Now, on a online call, they may not be able to answer per se, but at least it forces me to answer the question. So if you ask a question, you get engagement. And that's the one thing that would turn this speech from awesome to unforgettable, because you are an unforgettable person. And I am sure that if you employ this small feature in your avid storytelling, you yourself will be unforgettable. People will be talking about your speeches months after. Thank you, Bin Hamid, and congratulations. Madam General Evaluator.
Red.
Wonderful. Perfect timing too. Red was right after you finished.
Yes, I'm that good.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You are that good. You are an excellent evaluator, and you designed an excellent evaluation for Tala. Wow, that was a miracle. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so very much. And at this point, we are going to take a 5-minute break. So if we could pause the recording, thank you. And timer, if you would set 5 minutes on the timer. We will be back in just a bit.
Great. And I'm going to call
Tifa.
I'll get off.
You know, Cynthia,
call and then call Atifa. I think she had some technical problems because I messaged her in WhatsApp. Oh.
Cynthia, she
yes?
is working.
I can hear you.
Atifa is working very hard. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. She needs her sleep. I have sent her a message already. She's not responded. She's sleeping.
Okay.
Let her have her sleep.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have only one speech left, but it will be brilliant through Carolyn Douglas. Do you want to just continue the meeting from there? Okay, all right, so we will be done early.
Yeah, well, we'll have as much time as we like with table topics. And of course, Sheena is a wonderful table topics meister. So we can do that too.
Okay.
Great.
You might want to let her know exactly how much time you're going to give her.
We do. That's in the agenda.
Not if you're going to expanded table topics.
I was made aware that Tala was going to sing during the break. I don't know how true that is. I don't know, just asking, you know. I heard it from someone.
Go ahead, keep us amused.
Well, why don't you go ahead, Marlon?
No, I'm not a big singer. I can listen to jazz. I can do that well, but singing, no. But I'm sure you can sing, Tala. You're just pretending, yes.
Well, it was not part of the agenda, so you know.
all right. You get away. You get away this time.
Oh my God. All right. Just let me know in advance next time when you put my dulcet notes in the agenda.
Yes. Christmas time, you'll see that break with singing intermission from the president. Yes.
All right. What a president has to do these days.
Yes. You're supposed to serve and called upon to do so.
I have a feeling though that you actually want to sing and you're just using my show.
I see one of the executive members in my area is here. I think Margaret Bartholomew. Yes, she is the VP of Ed of one of the clubs in my area. Hi, Margaret.
Good afternoon, Mr. Area Director, Madam Cynthia DTM, and everybody else online. Thank you so much for having me.
It's nothing like a one.
Mr. Area Director, I always thought that you could not see. You just told me that you saw that I'm online. So
well, I heard Sarah mention you twice. When I said, listen, in the Blind Welfare Association of Trinidad and Tobago, you would often hear blind people speak in this manner. Okay. Sometimes you hear a blind person say, I'm looking for Sally. Did you see Sally today? No, I didn't see Sally. Well, tell her I'm looking for her. And you'd get confused. Aren't these all blind people?
So I would like to suggest that instead of asking Eddie Marlon to sing, we can probably ask him to be jokes master. He does a very good job of that, even though he may not be aware, but he's a natural. So I would like to suggest that to you all. And once I'm aware that he would be on doing that, I'll be sure to log on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, at my home club, we do have a role for joke master. So yeah, a brilliant idea there. Brilliant idea. Why not?
But I would suggest somebody give me the score for the World Cup match today. I know someone
you have to make these arrangements much farther in advance because the 5 minutes is up.
Oh boy, okay.
Oh boy.
Are we back on?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. I heard that, but wasn't anywhere that I could do anything about it. Okay. On that note, I am going to call us back from our break and ask for Tala Ben Hamid to speak to our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. It is my job to introduce the Speech Path Project Purpose and Timing for our next speaker. So our next speaker needs no introduction. She is our district director, and how very fortunate that she's actually doing the path strategic relationships. Her project is Level 2, Project 1, Understanding Your Leadership Style. In this, the speaker is supposed to share some aspects of a chosen leadership style or a leadership styles in general, discuss style preferences when working with others, how to adapt the chosen leadership style to situations or leadership styles in general, and how they impact a group. The member will deliver a well-organized speech about some aspect of leadership style. They may choose to speak about his or her own leadership style or leadership styles in general. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. and I'm sure it will be all of them. The speech should not be a report on the content of the Understand Your Leadership Style project. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Tella, so very much. Oh, we went bye-bye. All right. Carolyn, let me introduce Carolyn. She has become one of my greatest colleagues, friends, mentors, collaborators, bosses that I could have ever had. She communicates effectively at all levels with public, community leaders, with nonprofits, and with government affiliates as well. She has her DTM, and her most recent job is as the D57 district director. She has moved up through all of the district levels, from area director to division director to club growth and to education as well. And she's going to give us a 5 to 7 minute speech on navigating the call to collaborate. So we have here
Hello. It seems like there is something missing here. I'm not going to share, all right? Fellow Toastmasters, it is with great pleasure that I share a few thoughts that I have around my leadership style. As already shared with you, I'm working on the path of strategic relationships. And for this particular time, I was very interested in sharing with you the results of the assessment of leadership styles for me, because this is one of the first things that is required for this pathway. I was very interested in seeing that it seems out of the various leadership styles that are available, that I seem to be across the board in terms of what leadership styles I'm actually using. And because this PowerPoint is not working very well, shall I just share exactly what the result says? There are 7 here. Coaching, I scored 23. Innovative leadership style, 23. Altruistic, 22. Democratic, 22. Pace setting, 22. Affiliative, 21. Authoritative, 19. Bureaucratic, 18. As you can see, the numbers don't really go far from one another. So I would say my average score for all 7 of these styles would be a 22. Once again, with the highest number being 23 and the lowest being 18. Let me give you some joy here. My lowest score was in the bureaucratic area. Why? Why am I joyful about that? I'm joyful about that because I served in the federal government 20 plus years as a bureaucrat. I know the rules, I know the policy, I know the procedure, and I know what's behind the reason why you have to do a particular thing. And to see that I am not serving in a bureaucratic way at this point means that creativity, innovation, and all of the other things are really happening that shifts me from one leadership style to leadership styles that are supportive of the people that are working on the team that I have. In my current position as the district director, it's very easy for me to look at that hierarchical structure and say, I'm the district director, this is what I want, and this is where we're going. I could be very authoritative. But here is what I've learned. I've learned that if I want to go further, I need to bring others in to be supportive with me and to go along with me. Now, I know that that little proverb and that parable says that if I want to go fast, I can go by myself. If I want to go further, I go with others. And sometimes I have found that when I choose to share responsibility, when I choose to share authority, when I allow my team members to shine in their genius around a particular task that needs to be done, we can all go faster and further together if that is what's needed. Here's my story. When I was working for the federal government, I managed a high performance team of engineers, scientists, architects, and yeah, we had a couple of lawyers. What was very interesting about each one is that they were stellar in their own particular areas, but they also had outside interests. And oftentimes when we were given projects to do, and basically the projects were the ones that nobody else wanted to do because they had complexity associated with them, we received those complex projects and we were able to get through them. Sometimes it was actually a lawyer who would raise their hand and say, I can do that because I have experience, or I know a guy, or I know a woman who could help us. So instead of thinking I need to assign a scientist or an engineer, I would allow that lawyer who really had the depth of knowledge and experience for that particular task to come to the forefront, such that we were able to move in the direction of a design that was actually needed by the community that we were working for. So my title for this was Navigating the Call to be Collaborative. And what that meant for me was to let go of being authoritative, let go of being bureaucratic, let go of allowing my leadership style to be the predominant thing that we were doing, and to be open to what styles my team members had, because those individual styles were actually what was needed to get the work done that we were doing. I enjoy collaborating with my team members because number one, we have shared goals. Number two, we are going in the same direction. We have the same vision, and we allow the diversity of ideas for what needs to be done to come to the forefront. I love the fact that Cynthia shared with us her innovative ideas for general evaluator. This is the kind of mindset and thought that we should apply. It only happens when you begin to collaborate with the people that you're working with. With that, I turn it back to our Toastmaster. Back to you.
Thank you, Carolyn. That was a beautiful leadership presentation, and I loved how you wove in collaboration because that's very critical to successful leadership. Thank you so very much. At which point, let's have a minute of silence for our evaluator.
1 minute. If everyone will please finish up your comments and perhaps reach out to Carolyn directly if you have other constructive observations for her talk. Thank you.
Can we turn it back over to Cynthia?
That's the next step.
Thank you. Miss Cynthia, would you like to introduce the rest of your team?
Did you call me?
Yes, I did.
I don't think it's my turn. I think we have table topics first, don't we?
No, you have timer and third and fourth evaluator, but we don't have a fourth evaluator. Then.
And grammarian, don't we want
No,
those
no,
reports?
no, my dear, that's after the table topics. It's just the speech evaluation.
Don't we have a speech evaluation? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it calls for.
I thought we had it after the table topics. Okay, great. So our last speaker. Just a minute, I have to move somewhere else. Hold on. I'm trying to do too many things at once here. Okay, our speaker was Carolyn. That was an excellent speech. And our evaluator is now Tala bin Hamid. Please take the floor.
Thank you so much. Distinguished Toastmaster Carolyn, right off the bat, your speech was like a trek through Oz. It was like a magical mystery tour, and you navigated us all through that wonderful journey. And guess what? You encountered the wicked witch of the West right at the start. The problem with the PowerPoint, but yet you recovered so brilliantly, we didn't even feel that a visual aid even belonged in the speech. So congratulations on that. You had brilliant eye contact. I literally felt the miles melt away. You're literally talking to all of us right here in the room with us. Very few people can achieve that. Congratulations on that as well. You had great improvisation. You started with a smile as always. You had generosity and kindness in your voice. You did a great job referencing your path. Very few speakers do that, and we need to do that. And you had a very familiar problem, which is we really do not end up with a definite leadership style, do we? Especially during our leadership spells. We are a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. And perhaps that is the truth. And that is the truth that you discovered in the end. So it was a great journey. You absolutely aced your expressions when you celebrated that you did not have a bureaucratic style after all. That is a little hard for me to believe, given your background, but yeah, you deserve congratulations on that. When you mentioned various line items in your speech, for example, creativity, innovation, you moved your eyes around a bit. That was a brilliant touch. I hope to master that someday. That really adds a lot to the speech. When you said we can all go faster and further together, that was delivered with passion and genuine meaning. You did some brilliant role play, which was not too in the face. It was just the right side of subtle. It did not take away from your speech. And you had a great semi-conclusion where you said that, we have to adapt our leadership style. Life is not about our leadership style. It's about how we deal with it. In terms of improvement areas, just a few. This is my personal pet peeve. It's nothing in the rules. Perhaps not say things like, here's my story, or my title was, because that breaks suspension of disbelief. We are so absorbed in your story, and suddenly with these phrases, we are reminded that we are hearing a speech. So yeah, that's my personal pet peeve. If you don't like it, no need to give it any value. You had a sudden shift in tone when you said, "Here's my story," which was a little bit jarring. And the DTM Cynthia's example came a little bit late in the game. Perhaps it had been paced a little bit better. You could have moved to a smoother conclusion, but overall, absolutely fantastic job. And if you could have just paced it a little better at places and not said those words, "Here's my story," and my title was, it would have been absolutely even more amazing. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Awesome. And back to you, Toastmaster. I'll be back at the after of the Toastmaster, the evaluator report, the timer, and the grammarian report.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, on that note, Teresa, if you would announce the timing for the table topics, please.
Table topics responses should take 1 to 2 minutes. And that gives everybody a chance to extemporaneize. Anyway.
Extemporaneously speak?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Green at the 1 minute, yellow, the 1.5, red at the 2. So speak quickly. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Teresa. And with that, I get to.
And Teresa is also wanting to let Sheena, our table topics master, know that the agenda is designed such that she has up to 39 minutes after the hour. So Sheena, you don't have to take that much time, but that is how every table topics sessions should end at 39 minutes after the hour. Thanks.
Thank you. And at that point, let me introduce our table topics mistress, Sheena Walker. And I know she's going to have some erudite and delightful quotes, questions, and other topics for us to ponder. Sheena?
Thank you, Linda, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. The quote I've got for you tonight fits in very well with the theme of voice, and cultures. Seth Godin tells us, "You are not being judged, but what you bring to the table is being judged." I'm going to say that again. You are not being judged, but what you bring to the table is being judged. That's about how you design your voice, how you design you in different cultures, and how you become understood and influential. So I've got 3 questions related to how you would use your voice and how you might bring some brilliant content to the table. So I'd like to ask if Sandra's available. Sandra, are you available? I know your camera's off, but are you available, Sandra?
Yes, I am available. Yes, I am.
Hi, Sandra. Did you hear me there? Did you hear what I said there?
Yes, I did. I did hear it.
Yeah, okay. So
I'm ready.
You're ready. Brilliant. So what I'd like to ask you is, when did you use your voice or design your voice that somebody gave you amazing feedback? What did you say to them and they told you it was amazing?
You know, that's kind of hard to remember a time.
Who said you were brilliant?
Amazing feedback. Well, you know, we all talk about Cynthia a lot, but Cynthia gives me she always gives me a positive feedback and tells me how wonderful my speeches are. And sometimes I have trouble believing her, really, because, well, I guess I don't have that much faith in myself that I could really believe that I could just say something wonderful that would inspire everyone. But, Cynthia and other people too, like Kathleen Phil, they just tell me how wonderful my speech was and how perfect and how inspirational. And boy, I love talking to them because they make me feel so good. So let me appreciate them now, because I, love that kind of feedback. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra. It's quite difficult to love yourself and give yourself brilliance, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll repeat the question again. You're not being judged, but what you bring to the table is being judged. So I'd like to ask Sally. Sally, if you can tell me, it doesn't have to be related to Toastmasters. It could be your job, it could be out with. Can you tell me about a time that you demonstrated your expertise and somebody said how brilliant that was?
Well, thank you. I think this is an in-depth conversation, but I'll try to make it short. There was a time when we were at war with Vietnam, and I was so struck by the horrid scenes. I wanted to make a difference. And I have a man who was Vietnamese working for me. And I asked him if he could help me support other people, as his work for me was wonderful. And he put me in charge of his brother, who was a teacher in Vietnam. And the man went out and found 22 children who had nothing and were begging in the streets. They had relatives who wanted to help them, but they couldn't feed them. So I took them on for 22 years. No, excuse me, 11 years. No, 11 years. And I supported them and sent their aunts and uncles money for the food, bikes, and clothing, similar to San Francisco weather, because it can be very cold. I am forever grateful for the spiritual experience that I had. And those people are now adults, married, and with children. And they wrote me how horrible it was for them and that situation that got changed. I hope to inspire others who would do that.
Thank you, Sally. It's quite difficult, I know, to be put on the spot and asked something to share about yourself. Okay, so let's now look at, let's go to Cynthia, if Cynthia is available.
Yes.
Okay, Cynthia. So we're
Have
talking.
we asked any guests?
I was looking for guests. I don't think there was.
Don't we? Oh, we don't have any guests. Okay. If we don't have any guests, I'll go. Yeah, great. We do have one. We have two, actually. We have, nobody put a guest in front of their name, but we have Afiq Khan and Margaret Bartholomew. You can ask one of them first, please.
Okay, you could have answered and I could have gone to them next because I think we've got time, but okay, I'll come back to you. Margaret, can you hear me?
Yes, Madam Table Topics Master, I can hear you. Once I can answer without putting my video on, no problem, because I'm not able to right now. Is that okay?
Yeah. Have you got can you put your camera on?
No, I wouldn't be able to. So once I can, if I can answer without putting it on, no problem.
Okay.
If not,
okay.
I'll
So did you hear the question? You're not being judged, but what you bring to the table when you speak and use your voice. And the question is, can you share when you used your voice and you designed something that you were leading, you were an authority? You were that definitive leader in something you delivered at work or internal.
Madam Table Topics Master, I did not hear the last part of your. Could you repeat, please?
Can you tell me about a time that you demonstrated being a leader? You were an authority and you used your voice to change something? You used your voice to lead people?
Madam Table Topics Master, I remember times when I changed my voice so that I could be heard, that I could call order a meeting. I remember being president of a club some years back, and in a particular executive meeting, things had gotten out of order and persons had strayed from the agenda, and there was some crosstalk that was unnecessary and getting disrespectful. And I had to raise my voice. I had to be very forceful and let them know that this was not acceptable, this was not proper Toastmasters standards, and things had to come back to order, in spite of the fact that some persons did not agree with me and they wanted to continue. So the voice is a very powerful thing, and it's great in Toastmasters that we are taught and encouraged to use vocal variety. And at this time, I really needed to use a very forceful voice. So thank you for the opportunity, Madam Table Topics Master, and it's back to you.
Thank you, Margaret. It's always difficult when you've got conflict, isn't it? And you have to take a decision. So thank you for that. We have like another guest here, Afka. Is that how I say that?
Yes, Afah Khan.
Afka. Forgive me, please, for not getting
No.
my tongue round that. If you heard the question, it's about you not being judged, but how you speak and use your voice. Tell me about a time that you had to design your voice very differently for something specific, and someone was very surprised at how you used your voice.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. I live in India, and it's about 25 years back. I was 25 then, and I had to transport a set of medical equipments from Nagpur city, a city in Western India, to Mumbai city. And there was an organization which had called for a protest of a transport, and the whole of the transportation was shut. But these instruments, for which I had taken a contract to transport, were to be done within, I think that was 31st of May 1996 or 1994. Yeah, it was 1994. To be taken to Mumbai in order not to be like penalized for supplying the lead to the hospitals. It was a health system, and those were operating instruments. Those were to be supplied to Mumbai city. And almost at every place, there were police and there were politicians who were stopping the transportation. I did not understand what is to be done. I just went to the one of the political leaders over there. They had their office, and I entered his office. Being a 35-year-old guy, it was too much courage for me to do so. I asked him, "Sir, I need your help, and only you can help me in this situation." He came forward and asked me, "What is that you want?" I said, "I'm carrying medical equipment which can serve the poor patients of this country. and government has spent a lot of money. And you please help me out with this in order to make this instrument reach Mumbai, and I can do whatever you tell me to do, be it money in kind or be it being grateful to you forever. He, coming from a very strong political background, was just moved by my gesture. And making a long story short, he helped me out reaching those instruments to Mumbai by accompanying me over there. So that is something which I think I voiced my authority or my leadership skill. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Tabletop Master.
Thank you so much. Lots of interesting comments coming back. That's quite fascinating. Thank you for that. May I ask Teresa about timings, please?
Well, let's see. We're pushing up against 2:25, and everyone was on time. Sandra Edwards, 1 minute 17. Sally Reyes, 1 minute 39. Margaret Bartholomew, 1 minute 39. And Afik Khan, just under the timing. I was so ready to say, you're finished. 2 minutes, 29 seconds.
Wow.
And Alpana would love to contribute an answer. Would that be all right, Sheena?
That's what I was asking, if we had anything, if we could, some minutes to play with. I quite
we
like.
have till 39 minutes after the hour. 39 minutes after the hour.
So we've got Alpana. Is it Alpana?
Alpana.
Alpana. If you've been listening to some of our questions tonight, quite interesting. And I think it's quite a famous quote by Seth Godin, saying that we don't get judged. If you're a band, you get judged on your music. If you're a speaker, you get judged on what you bring to the table. Can you tell me about a time that you felt brilliant after you spoke? A time that you just thought, wow, that's the best speech I've ever given.
This question is quite close to my heart in so many ways. And I'm going to speak about helping women get seen and being in those shoes myself. Sometimes, in order to do that, it does take a certain amount of courage to step into something that is so uncomfortable, to use my voice. And I know, Sheena, you also mentioned about cultures and different backgrounds and so forth. So that's the space that I'm coming from. And at one point in time, I actually messaged a community leader regarding her position on something. And the most beautiful thing that happened was she emailed me back and she said, Alpana, I would love for you to come and speak and share your thoughts. And honestly, this filled me up with so much anxiety because I knew I was going to go against the grain and speak about something that felt uncomfortable for me in a space which was somewhat of an echo chamber. However, stepping into that space, I also knew, because of her invitation, that there was a certain amount of safety in showing up and saying what I wanted to say. And I stepped into the space. I also messaged a couple of my friends who were in that space and said, can you please be there as moral support, which they did. And I have to tell you, I went in and spoke, and it was so well received. Not only that, there were different women that shared comments on the Zoom call, which were extremely supportive. And I just felt like I was able to say what I wanted to say and make a difference to so many women in that space as a representative for women of color or for women from a diverse background. And I feel a sense of having made a small difference.
What I loved about that too was that, thank you for that, was making a difference. That's very, very powerful words. Using your voice to make a difference is amazing. Yeah, thank you. So let's now look at Cassandra. Are you there, Cassandra?
Yes.
Oh, Cassandra, I hope you didn't fall asleep.
Oh, no. Listen to
Right.
everything.
Okay. If you've been listening to the question about we're not always being judged, but what we say when we open our mouth. And so often we can say the wrong thing and it didn't come out as we meant it to come out. So can you tell me about a time that you were going to do a presentation and you said the wrong thing and you were on the wrong track? And how did you manage to get out of that?
Saying the wrong thing, but knowing your character. So when you make a mishap, a person knows your character. They're not going to judge you by that one mishap. So you can always go back and clean it up and know that you can say that was a mistake. That was something that you didn't mean to say it in that way. That was the words you chose. You didn't mean to say it in that way, or it was misinterpreted. I don't know how, let's see, say for instance, if I use the wrong words or phrased it wrong, then I can go back and say, this is the way I should have said it. So in that way, then you can go back and clean it up. But if it was something that it was misinterpreted, then you can always go back and say, this is what I meant to say. Or this is the way I should have explained it.
Yeah. Thank you, Cassandra. That's a tricky one, isn't it? And I think it's tricky because when you speak in different cultures across the globe, sometimes you can speak in innocence and before you've realized that you've said a word that's inappropriate for that culture.
True.
Yes.
And that's true. It can mean two different things in two different cultures.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing. One more. Is there one more person? Rosemary? Are you there, Rosemary?
Rosemary tends to be working at this time. I appreciate
I
that
am there, but I can't answer now.
Oh, thank you. Rosemary, nice to hear from you. Are you okay?
She's working now, so I
Oh, she
love
is.
that she's tuning in, but she can't speak.
Okay, well, I think that I'm watching the time. I think we've got time for one more. Is that right? Time for, yeah? Okay, so let's go to some of the handsome men here tonight. Let's go to Isaac. I shouldn't have said that, Isaac. Isaac, you've been listening to You're Not Being Judged, and sometimes in our culture, we do get judged and we don't mean it to come across. But can you tell me about a time that you were trying to be a specialist and it didn't turn out like that? You were trying to be the expert, the specialist, and demonstrate your position, and it came out wrong?
Thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics Master. Well, actually, right now, I am the president of a club and I have no idea what I'm doing, although I have been a president before, but I just didn't realize how much work was involved in it. So I'm actually learning as I go, doing it. So it's something that I wasn't trying to teach or, be the doing something that I had, I wasn't qualified to do, but it was just something that I was pushed in to do. So I had to do it, being qualified to do that. And I'm trying to think of another situation where I was trying to explain something and I didn't do it quite right. That happens a lot because for whatever reason, half the time when I'm trying to explain something, it doesn't really come out correctly. So I appreciate the question. And right now, all those many times, I cannot think of one, but thank you for that question, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Isaac. And just finish with sharing something that's very helpful for being an expert, using your voice to be an expert in that authority. I'd like to leave you with a question. And that question is, find 2 words that demonstrates your expertise. So find 2 words that you're an expert and you're a master in, and hang on to these 2 words. If you can't think of it right now, mine is performance mastery. That's what I use because that's what I speak about. So if you can find 2 words that demonstrates you, it's really good if you get caught in a spot. You can think, oh, I can speak about that. But thank you, everybody. That was super. And thank you for being caught on the spot and answering so well. Thank you so, so much. And back to Toastmaster Linda. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Those are very erudite questions that you asked. I was sitting here thinking, gee, what would I say? And it made me think a whole lot. So thank you for that. With that, I'd like to turn it over to our general evaluator, Cynthia Stott, to evaluate the rest of the meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. Our wonderful Toastmaster of the day. And we had our evaluations. It was a little choppy today. We need to iron out the agenda so that the general evaluation isn't called upon so many times. I wasn't expecting it.
Cynthia, just one thing, the timer report and the grammarian report before you launch into your report?
Yeah, I know. I've got the floor. I've got it. Okay. No worries. No worries. I was just saying that we had some great evaluators. So I would like to have the grammarians report and see how we did in our word of the day.
Thank you. Design was a really great word today. And Kathleen, Teresa, Cynthia with 3, Talat, Muhammad, 1 that I heard, and Sheena with 3, and Maya with 1. But my favorite was these words: illustrious, cohort. I can't say it. And endeavor, navigating, collaborative, and erudite. Build those words. They're coming at us. Thank you.
Any filler words did we use today?
I didn't hear any.
Wonderful. Wow. We're doing great. Awesome. And Teresa, can we have our timers report? Any over or under time?
Oh, we came very close. I was so ready with that hook, but no, everyone was right on time. Maya Catherine's speech was 5 minutes, 19 seconds. Tala Hamid's speech was 6 minutes, 52 seconds. The evaluations, Isaac Ford, 2 minutes, 20 seconds. And Marlon's was 2 minutes, 50 seconds. I'm sorry, I'll skip to our third speaker. Carolyn, you are at 7 minutes, 17 seconds, very close. And Tala, the evaluation, I was like really ready, but you came in at 3 minutes, 29 seconds. So well played. All of our table topics recipients or respondents were under time. So everybody did a beautiful job today. It was a pleasure being your timer.
Great. Thank you very much. And now for my my report of the general meeting. Like I was talking about before, the agenda needs some tightening up. So I'm going to work with Atifa. I'm going to find out what happened, and maybe tomorrow when she's awake, and then work with her on the agenda so we can smooth that out and have a smooth meeting and everybody knowing what they're supposed to do. And also we had a little bumbliness with the table topics section. I think we need some more direction, either letting the table topics master know what their role is, because the idea of table topics is to get the guests speaking and also any members who have not taken a speaking role to speak. So we want to call on a member to be an example first, but choosing someone that doesn't have a role, not the grammarian, not the evaluator, not the general evaluator, but someone that has not had a chance to speak yet. And then have two of our guests speak. And then if we have more time, we can follow up with more guests and more people that have not given a chance to speak. So we should really make sure that all of our members get a chance to speak during the table topic section that haven't had a chance to speak through the rest of the meeting. Sometimes we've had a lot of complaints about some of our members not feeling included because they weren't asked to speak during the table topic section if they didn't have a speaking role. That's why I wanted to make sure that we gave them all a role instead of me, who has been speaking way too much today because I've been the general evaluator, has had 3 different spots where we usually only have one. We'll iron that out. We'll take some time with that. So we're doing great on time. We started on time. We had some mishaps, but we're flexible and we're designed to succeed. And now we are just about ready to close with our VPE report and our takeaways from our president. So back to you. Do I get back to table topics master? No, to the Toastmaster of the day, our illustrious Linda Patton.
You're muted, I believe.
And that was so exceptional. I'm going to turn it back. This is why I'm going to turn it back to our VP Education, who wants to introduce the roles that are open for our next meeting, and perhaps getting a whole bunch of volunteers so we don't have to go scrambling for them in the next 2 weeks. Kathleen, it's all yours. And
This will be.
Go ahead, and I'm going to have to run. So,
okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much for your wonderful, wonderful service and inspiration.
Thank you.
You did a beautiful job. This will be the 12th of December, and this will offer an opportunity for 4 speakers, as long as their speeches are 7 minutes and under. If you require a longer speech, then please let us know, and I'll arrange it so that you have time and we'll have 3 speakers. With that, Marlon has volunteered to speak, and I have volunteered Marlon to be an evaluator. And so I hope that is well with you, Mr. Marlon. And the rest of the slate is open. So we can, oh goody. Carolyn, what would you like to do?
I need to get my speeches done, speaker.
Yay. Okay, another speech. Thank you, Carolyn. Would you like to give an evaluation as well?
No. Thank you.
Okay. And we're in need of a general evaluator, a grammarian, table topics, Toastmaster of the day, and timer, along with evaluators and speakers. And
I can take timer and
timer,
plus
thank you.
any other role that is that you wish to
Thank
assign
you
at
so
the last
much.
moment.
Thank you. Our wonderful inspiration and servant
How
leader.
about evaluator, since we don't have one for Carolyn? That would be great. And you could maybe evaluate someone else.
So I
Would
have
you-
a question,
Uh-huh.
Mrs. Alpana. Is the meeting for the 5th already? Is there a meeting on the 5th or?
Yes,
that is-
it's a
Are there-
party. It's a party.
Oh,
So we
okay.
will, I'll communicate with you, Alpana. And what I would love is if you would tell us about a holiday, a precious holiday to you, because this is about holiday tradition, celebrations, and fun. And the speeches are 5 minutes.
For the 5th?
That's correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. And so you could apply it to a project as long as your project is 5 to 7 minutes or 4 to 6 minutes. And then you take care of your own matriculation, if you will, through the Toastmasters International site. But you can apply this work as long as you have 5 minutes, up to 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay.
And not longer.
And
Okay,
that can count towards your qualification for the contest.
Okay, I may need a little more clarification on this.
Let's talk. I would love to.
Yes, but it sounds like I can do a speech on the 5th with a holiday theme that relates to my pathway. Is that right?
Not exactly. This is more a holiday theme. This is a party. And then if you want to, in other words, it's not about.
Why don't we talk about it offline?
Okay, yes, that's fine.
Go ahead, Cynthia, you talk.
I'll advise.
Good.
Let's talk offline. Great.
Sandra.
Did we have some more people
you,
that volunteered to speak? I can't remember.
Sandra, do you want to unmute?
Did we?
Yeah, I volunteered to speak, so I'd like to be on that list of speakers.
And is this for the 5th or for the 12th of December? Let's work on our agenda for the 12th of December. Do you want to do that?
No, I want to do the 5th.
Okay, let's work on the 12th. Would you care to be a grammarian or an evaluator or a speaker on the 12th of December, Sandra?
Would I? Oh, I don't know. Pick one for me. I don't know what to say.
I love your evaluations, and I know that I sound as though it's all sugar and icing, but I mean it.
Thanks. Well, okay, I can be an evaluator if you want me to be.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
And
And,
Catherine,
uh-huh,
I can do a speech. This is Isaac.
thank you. Okay, wonderful.
And
Catherine?
And an
Would-
evaluation? Are you willing to
Yes.
do both? Isaac?
Yeah, I can do an evaluation.
Wonderful.
All right.
That's what we want to hear.
Thank you very much. Okay, and then Sally.
Yep, my grammarian role.
Okay, right, super. Now we have table topics, we have Toastmaster of the Day, and we have General Evaluator. So we have, let's see, Sheena and Maya and Alpana. Would you care to do that? Do one of those roles?
I'm sorry, I had to walk away for a minute. Which roles were they?
Well, you could offer table topics, or you could practice the job of general evaluator or of Toastmaster of the Day.
Those are a little far stretch for Alpana. She hasn't finished level 1 yet. So she could do a speech, absolutely.
Table
Or
topics.
table topics would be great. Or timer. Do we have timer already?
No, I mean, yes, we have.
Okay, great.
Well, I
Would you
could
care-
do. I could do table topics, perhaps.
I'm sure you'll be wonderful. All righty. And so we have general evaluator and Toastmaster of the Day. And Cassandra, would you care to do the general evaluator job?
I'm sorry, I'll be in DR.
Okay. All righty. And Sheena, will you want to attend? I would love to see you do the Toastmaster of the Day.
Yes, she left.
Okay. Well, that's very good. A great start. And I will turn it back to our past president, Cynthia, for the takeaways.
And is Tala here?
Tala seems to have left.
Have dropped off? Okay. Okay, great. So takeaways. What are you taking away with you from today? Let's see. Do we have any guests left? Let's see. How about our guest? I can't see the name. With an A? I can't read his thing. Oh,
Talha.
there's Talha. There's Talha. Maybe he wants to do takeaways. Great. Oh. Are you back, Talha?
Yes, I've missed the past 2 minutes or so. So I gather that all the roles
Do you
have
want to
been
do
finalized.
takeaways?
Yeah, sure. So today we are going back to DT and Cynthia's utmost delight. Today we'll go back to chocolates. And because I've run out of things to offer, I'll think of some things next time. But for now, we are back to chocolates. So first we'll ask our guest, Afaq Khan. What are you taking away from this meeting?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Isaac. For me, the takeaway is the way each the way that each speakers. I heard two speakers today, and the speeches were very fantastic. And the way with the discipline the meeting is carried out, I like that. And table topic session was very amazing. The table topic master gave the question in which it had a topic for everyone if they have exercised their leadership skills anytime. So that was very thrilling and very tweaking as well. It was very
Zoom
pleasure
Master,
to be
can you
here.
mute everyone? I hear some background noise. Please mute everyone except for the speaker.
Yes, yes, Alpha, please continue.
Yes. And I like the integrity shown by the timer today when she had completely missed out timing 1 minute. And she came forward and said that she completely missed that. I like that very much. It was pleasure being here. It was a random, I got this link from one of the groups where I'm a member. If you could forward me a regular link, if you have, I will be regularly here. Thank you.
Well, you can become part of our guest group, Toastmaster Alpha. That way you will be connected to this club's future meetings. Would you like to do that?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll
All
post it
right.
in the chat for you.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So what kind of chocolate would you like to have right now? It must be 2:30 a.m. If you're in India, right?
Yes, it is.
So what are you doing up? Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a right to ask that question. Just
No,
tell us your
we are Toastmasters. We know how to ask things. Generally it is not what we ask, it is how we ask. I am right now, for the last 10 minutes, I have been lying on my bed now, disturbing my wife as well. Otherwise, I was just in my living room attending your meeting. Fortunately, I happened to attend the interesting meetings at the midnight only, from the other side of the world, like United States of America or Australian meetings, or all they happen at this time. And that something fascinates me. I think this is a big giveaway from the COVID, where I can connect people around the world. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, there's a strange charm, and we, the people from subcontinent, have a slight advantage, if you could call it that. We like to stay up till quite late compared to people in the West. So yeah, we managed to get a lot of these meetings. So what kind of a chocolate would you like to have? Perhaps offer that to your spouse right now. Don't have it yourself.
What kind? Okay, what kind of the chocolates do you have? What kind of chocolates can you offer me right now?
Yeah, since it's a virtual chocolate, you can name any chocolate on the planet. Yeah.
Oh, really? Cadbury?
All right. Any particular kind of Cadbury or the normal one?
No, normal will be do.
All right. You're a simple man. You were offered the world on a platter, and you chose. You have a refreshing honesty, and you're very down to earth. So I'm throwing a truck of Cadbury's at you. It will arrive very soon, trust me. So let's ask Toastmaster Maya Catherine. How was your experience today? And it is so amazing to see you blossom into this absolutely fantastic speaker. So what are you taking away from this meeting? Toastmaster Maya, are you there? All right. Who would like to volunteer and get a virtual chocolate in return? We have space for one last comment. One? Oh, That's sad. Okay. Okay. Sally, what about you? You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, I'm sorry. Toppy with dark chocolate, please. And I'm coming away with, this was a little bit rough today, but I enjoyed hearing from everyone. Thank you.
Wow, that was lovely. And yes, there were a little bit, a few hiccups along the way. But compared to, I'm always someone who is attracted towards seeing the dark side of things. So I have to actually tear myself away from that. And I found that it's so rewarding when you look at, one of my former bosses used to say, don't look at what went wrong, look at what went right. Because that's what you want to repeat, right? So
Yes.
yeah, there's so much right today. There's such great speeches and evaluations. So yeah, these things happen, and we all learn. For a few meetings like this, we have like dozens of meetings that were absolutely perfect. So yeah, we should be grateful. So thank you so much, and your chocolate is on the way. Thank you for telling us your choice. So with that, we will, yeah, enjoy. So we are 1 minute over time, so it's high time that we close this meeting. So everyone, it was once again an honor. See you in slightly less than a week's time, because our next meeting will be in the evening, in your evening and my morning. So yeah, or like 6.5, fine. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the season, enjoy the holidays. For some reason, I find this season unquestionably beautiful. So enjoy it while in class. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.